You're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's get straight to our top story today. Several leaders, including Akali Dal Chief Sukhbir Badal and Lok Sabha MP Harsimrat Kaur Detained, were detained by the Delhi police this afternoon. Now, they alleged authorities used force to stop a Black Friday march by the party to mark 1 year of protests against the centre's farm laws. Now, they were detained for violating Section 144, orders which ban large gatherings, and they were taken to the Parliament Street Police Station. Now, speaking to NDTV, Ms. Badal said, and I quote, "We were here to protest. Delhi police used force to stop us. Police sealed the borders. Our workers were lathi charged. Arvind Kejriwal government gave orders that we cannot gather at a Gurudwara. Central government also stopped us. This is undemocratic," end quote. Now, farmers and opposition parties have been protesting against the centre's farm laws since November last year. There have been several rounds of talks, but no resolution so far. Also in the news, referring to the Taliban takeover, Prime Minister Modi said that the developments in Afghanistan have increased the challenges of radicalization. Now, while addressing the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit virtually, he also went on to say, and I quote, "The biggest challenges in this region, which is the South and Central Asia, are linked with peace, security and trust deficit, and root cause of this is increasing radicalization. The recent developments in Afghanistan have made it all the more clear," end quote. A recent New York Times article claimed that the Indian Council of Medical Research tailored its findings to fit Prime Minister Narendra Modi's optimistic narrative despite a looming crisis. Now, while reacting to this, the government called the article, and I quote, "provocative, attention-seeking piece that comes at a time when the country is doing well in tackling the pandemic." Now, ICMR Director General Dr. Balram Bhargava said, and I quote, "This is a provocative, attention-seeking article published at a time when India is doing good and our vaccination is excellent and it is diverting attention. All the issues raised are dead ones and probably do not merit any attention," end quote. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan and the union government, as well as the state governments, are fully immersed in fighting a pandemic, and all our energies and time is devoted to that, the government said. Moving on to news related to COVID right now, India has reported 34,403 new COVID cases and 320 deaths in the last 24 hours. A bulk of those cases are coming in from Kerala. Kerala has reported 23,260 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. In fact, the infection count is slightly higher than what was reported on Thursday, when it was at 22,182 COVID cases. India, in the meantime, has administered a record 2 crore vaccines today. Now, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that this was the fastest pace at which so many doses have been administered. Over 18.8 crore people in India are fully vaccinated, which is over 13% of the entire population. Meanwhile, Uttarakhand High Court yesterday vacated its stay on the Char Dham Yatra and directed the state government to conduct the pilgrimage only for vaccinated people who are carrying a COVID negative report. Now, the bench said that the pilgrimage will start with restrictions like a daily limit on the number of devotees visiting the temple. Now, the pilgrimage consists of 4 places, which is the Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, and Yamunotri. The High Court has capped the number of devotees as well visiting these places. Now, the High Court said that 800 pilgrims will be allowed in Kedarnath Dham, 1,200 in Badrinath Dham, 600 in Gangotri, and 400 in Yamunotri every day. Also in the news, Biocon Biologics Limited, which is a subsidiary of Biocon, yesterday said that it will offer around 15% stake to Serum Institute of Life Sciences at a post-money valuation of about $4.9 billion. Now, this means that Biocon Biologics Limited will get access to 100 million doses of vaccines per annum for 15 years. Now, in addition to vaccines, the alliance will also develop antibodies targeting several infectious diseases like dengue, HIV, etc. Now, the two companies will enter service level agreements for manufacturing and distributing both the vaccines and antibodies as well. On to news coming in from across the world now. According to a report by the UN Children's Fund, which is UNICEF, over 77 million children from across the world have spent 18 months out of class. It has urged to reopen schools for in person learning as soon as possible. Now, the report says that, and I quote, this generation of children and youth cannot afford any more disruptions in their education. According to UNESCO, in the meantime, schools are now fully open in 117 countries with 539 million students back in class, ranging from pre-primary to secondary levels. Also, according to The Guardian, as California's Sierra Nevada continues to battle wildfires, firefighters' efforts are underway to protect the largest tree, which is a General Sherman, along with other giant trees as well. Now, firefighters have wrapped the base of the world's largest tree in a fire-resistant blanket. On to news from the world of sports right now. According to New Zealand Cricket, the team are abandoning their Pakistan tour following a New Zealand government security alert. Now, the team was set to play Pakistan on Friday in the first of the three ODIs in Rawalpindi before moving to Lahore for a 5-match T20 international series. In a statement, New Zealand Cricket said, and I quote, the side was to play Pakistan this evening in the first of three ODIs in Rawalpindi before moving to Lahore for a 5-match T20 series. However, following escalation in the New Zealand government threat levels for Pakistan and advice from the New Zealand security advisors on the ground, it has been decided that the backlaps will not continue with the tour, end quote. Now, before we wrap up this bulletin, we leave you with a bit of positive news. Chhattisgarh is set to develop the nation's largest man-made forest on a vast area, mostly the abandoned and non-functional mining belt at Nandini in Durg district. Now, it is about 55 kilometers from the capital city, Raipur. Now, the forest stretches over 3,777 acres. So far, 1,120 acres in the region have been transformed into a forest. This year, over 83,000 saplings of around 30 different species, including medicinal, were planted under a special drive in about 895 acres by the State Forest Department. Now, that's it here on Just the News. Thank you so much for watching.